So I'm looking at a song I've never heard before called Wall and Bridges. I'm going to have to Google it in a minute because it's relevant to this story. Wall and Bridges were wrote by John Lennon, I presume in 74, or roundabouts, because him and May Yang, his then girlfriend, was in New York on top of the apartments, and they saw a UFO. May Yang, she was interviewed about it, I think, not long ago, but John Lennon had an interview, and he brought it up and spoke clearly about it. Took one of the people into his apartment and said, "Look, that's where it was. It was just there in front of him." And on the interview with John Lennon, he actually described he looked down and he couldn't believe nobody was looking at it. It was just him. And he said he was staring at it for minutes and minutes before he shouted at his girlfriend. And literally, he was just there. He says, just there, just still. And he says, all black. But his girlfriend described it a bit different on the recent interview. When John Lennon described it, he didn't describe it the same. So whether he didn't want to be too carried away with it, but when his girlfriend May Yang got interviewed about it, she described it as being a dome shape, a disc shape with a dome, and having yellow white lights and a red light at the top. That's a lot more detail than John Lennon gave out. He just, as far as I can understand, it was black. He thinks it was a disc. Wasn't sure, but he said it looked like a disc. And it just hovered. He said it just hovered there. But his girlfriend recently, so a few years ago, I don't know when, said you could see the heat from underneath it. It gives that funny haze. So she was a lot more detailed about it recently. But that's 40 or 50 years, I think. I don't know, a long while ago. But you would remember things like that. I mean, if I saw it, I'd remember it for 1,000 years, you know. So that's not really unusual. But John Lennon was so excited, and he actually expressed his feelings to the interviewer and said it was there. But the thing what really got him, he said a few times, he couldn't believe nobody else was looking up at it, because it was there for, I think he said it was there for hours. It was there a long time. It was not just a few minutes. And they were looking around, and nobody seemed to be interested in it. And that's what amazed him. But I thought, I love that story, because like John, who doesn't like John Lennon, you know, and to get two in one go, what a bonus. And I've just came across here, he put it in his songs called Walls and Bridges. I'm going to have to Google that in a minute and listen to it. And the sighting, he wrote it in 1974, 9th October, Walls and Bridges, so about the UFO. So even put in a song about that. Didn't know that. So brilliant. So if you get a chance, have a look at it and have a play that song. I'm going to in a minute. Never heard it before. And May Yang, like I say, she was interviewed. I've seen the interview. It was very descriptive. I think brilliant. I prefer John Lennon's description because it's less descriptive, and you can. He just, you know, he described it was right there and it didn't move and everything. But she described it much more thoroughly. So have a look at both if you get a chance. And they both are definitely got to be on YouTube. I'm sure they are. Everything's on YouTube, isn't it? So anyway, but again, it's New York apartment, 1974, and the song what he put in, Walls and Bridges. I hope you like the story. If you've not heard it before, it's true, totally true. Thank you. Bye.